Hi, I'm Sharmen from the Marriage Recovery Center. Today, I'm covering some quick thoughts about how we as counselors or coaches often miss the root issues with couples and end up causing more harm to their relationship. Most often, it is a wife who has initiated the counseling. She's the one usually distraught enough about the relationship that she's desperately seeking help to make it better. Her husband usually is not. He either insists they can do this without counseling or he's fine with the way things are. The topic becomes about the wife changing because she's the one who's concerned. Or if the husband initiates the counseling, it's usually because the wife has taken some sort of stand to resist his bad behavior, either a separation or some sort of line drawn in the sand. The topic still becomes how to get her to change, because she's the one now acting badly because of her reactions to his abuse. That's seen as the problem. She becomes the problem as he minimizes and rationalizes and dismisses her examples of his harm towards her. We could characterize this as blaming the victim, because he is there to rectify the current system to get back to normal. She's there to use the current situation to totally change what was normal. What I want you to think about is that the initial point of contact with most couples is totally engulfed in the current situation, which is actually the byproduct of years of dysfunction. She is no longer willing to carry the consequences of his bad behavior by herself. She's usually the one hurting in this relationship, hurting enough to come to counseling. She's the one devastated by the loss of connection and the loss of her sense of self. She's the one who has realized that love looks very differently than trying to keep the peace when she is not feeling peace at all. The reaction to the abuse, which looks like resistance, is what's focused on rather than the instigating abuse. And when we focus on simply changing her resistance to the instigating abuse, the obvious outcome is that nothing really changes. We're still blaming the victim. And the relationship ends up even worse off than when they sought help. She leaves even more discouraged and isolated and unheard. He is bolstered in his abuse. And then they often get stuck in another decade of destructive cycles, or the marriage ends. Either way, I think we can change that pattern. As a pastor, counselor, or coach, you have an enormous opportunity in front of you to be a hero to that family. As a first responder to a family in crisis, you can be the one to step in and truly address the harm if you stay aware of the signs and symptoms of long-term emotional abuse and how to get them the depth of help they'll need to truly stop the bleeding. Addressing their presenting issues is certainly an important part of the solution, but if you stop there, all you'll be doing is putting a Band-Aid on where surgery is needed. Be her hero. Join the Silent Suffering webinar to equip yourself with the tools and resources needed to recognize the signs and symptoms of emotional abuse and truly help bring healing to the dying relationship. For more information, please contact our client care team. Until next time, take care.